Well, this has been a bold choice by the government, actually following a campaign promise. And so, in a sense, the government had no choice. It had to deliver on a campaign promise, which was the centerpiece of their political platform. It cost overall 9 billion on a yearly basis. The government has already used a bit of a trick with a late start. It was supposed to start in January 1st, then it moved into May 1st in order to save some money. There's a good intention there. Obviously, Italy has been lacking an instrument to alleviate the poverty, extreme poverty, since at least the beginning of 2018. In 2018, the first universal scheme was introduced, but the government decided, under the push of the five-star movement, to do something more, to actually mix together a scheme to alleviate poverty and something to support unemployment. The main problem, obviously, is not just the impact on deficit, but the disincentive that this is building in order to work. 780 euros on a monthly basis means that if you're working on a part-time, as a part-timer, you basically find no convenience to go to work, and actually you would rather receive your citizen income, as you call it.
But the scheme's backers are insisting that this will help unemployed Italians get back into work. What's their argument for that?
Well, that's a kind of a weird argument. It's harder to understand. So, officially, if you go and check the law, it says that in order to receive an income, you have to find an individual social pact, which means that you have to commit for some community service or some basic education reskilling scheme or something like that. Problem is that obviously there is pretty much no infrastructure to manage that. So in a sense, you're telling people, I'll give you some money, in order for you, but you have to train yourself, but there is no training structure to take care of you. So these people will basically commit to something that will never be delivered. And what was the good intention? Retraining people that are at the extreme, in extreme poverty or in a difficult position, and so having a hard time to getting back on the job market, ends up being just a transfer scheme. So, if you just look around at other examples that have been implemented in other countries, the risk here is that this scheme will actually deliver the typical poverty trap. So some people will find no convenience to actually actively look for jobs, but rather be stuck in a scheme that by which they receive some money. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but by the Italian labor standards, I said, it would be already more than most of workers working part-times. So some people might find it convenient to just get stuck there. The issue is not just impact on budget. 9 billion in terms of Italian GDP is something like 0.25% of GDP. The problem is the target and the structure, and that is very weak.